Good afternoon to everyone. We are now in Chapter 5, Curriculum Implementation, and here we are going to tackle about the level of curriculum implementation and the things to consider in implementing the curriculum. But before that, I am your first discussant, Chris Anthony Garufil from BA Gen 3A, and I'm going to discuss first what is curriculum implementation and who are those involved in the implementation or what is the role of stakeholders in the implementations of curriculum. So, let's get started.
Curriculum implementation. It refers to how the plan of officially designed course of study is translated by the teachers into syllabi, schemes of work, and lessons to be delivered to the students.
Curriculum implementation is refers to how teachers deliver instruction and assessment through the use of specific resources provided in a curriculum. A curriculum design generally provide instructional suggestions, script, lesson planning, and assessment options related to a set of objectives. And the curriculum were crafted by experts in cooperations of other stakeholders.
According to Lux and Lieberman in 1983, they defined curriculum implementation as a trying out of a new practice and it looks like when actually used in school system. And according to Ornstein and Hankins in 1998, they defined curriculum implementation as the interaction between the curriculum that has been written and planned and the person who are in charge to deliver it. To them, curriculum implementation implies the following. First is to shift from what is current to a new or enhanced curriculum. Second, change in knowledge, actions, and attitudes of the person involved. Third, change in behavior using a new strategies and resources. And last, change which requires efforts, hence goals should be achievable. Now let's proceed to curriculum stakeholders.
The stakeholder are individual or institution that are interested in the school curriculum. Their interests vary in degree and complexity so that they get involved in many different ways in the implementation because the curriculum affect them directly or indirectly. First, curriculum manager and administrators. In school organization, there is always a curriculum manager or school administrator. In fact, for school principals, one of their function is being a curriculum manager. So they are the responsible in supervising the curriculum implementation, hire teachers, admit students, and produce materials and equipment for the improvement of the schools. Academic institution, school administrator, have a great stake or concern about what kind of curriculum their school offer and how those are implemented. The school administrators play an important role in shaping the school curriculum because they are the people who are responsible in the formulations of the school's vision, mission, philosophy, and objectives.
Next is the parents. Parents are significant school partner. Parents will be willing to pay the cost of education their children get the best learning experience.
Parents as supporter to the curriculum. So the parents will be willing to pay the cost of educating their child for as long as their children get the best learning or schooling experiences. So the power of the parents to influence the curricula to include instructional materials and school activities is great, such that the success of curricula would somehow depends on their support. Next, community members as curriculum resources. The success in the implementations of the curriculum requires resources. The whole community can serve as a curriculum resources. Thus, each member has a great stake in the curriculum implementation. Some teachers complain that resources are very scarce. There are no books, materials, no facilities are available. That's why community members are there to help. So the community members and materials in the existing local community can very well substitute for what are needed to implement in the curriculum. Other stakeholders in curriculum implementation and development. including Department of Education, Commission of Higher Education, TESDA, local government units, and the NGO. Professional organizations have shown great influence in school curriculum. For example, in education, the government is represented by the Department of Education, or the TEPED, which is for Basic Education Curricula. And the Commission of Higher Education, or CHED, is for the tertiary level or graduate education curricula. So these two agencies I have mandatory and regulatory powers over the implementations of the curricula. And the third government agencies that has a high stake in schools curricula is the Professional Regulatory Commissions, or PRC. So here in PRC, they conduct examinations for some degrees program like the licensure examination for teachers, accountants, engineers, bar examination to certified lawyers, and many more. The fourth one is TESDA, under also by the government agency, and all the courses registered in TESDA is required a competency-based curriculum, or CBC, to be implemented, which focuses on teaching the students about relevant knowledge and skills to be used by learners. Next, the local government units, so including the municipal government officials and the barangay officials. The local government units, or LGUs, do provide supplementary funding support to public basic education because they have access to a sustainable source of financial resources. Lastly, the non-government agencies, that is also a stakeholders of curriculum implementation, and we can consider as part of community resources supporting education. For example, is the Synergia. It is a organizations or foundation that support basic education to elevate education through reading, science, mathematics, and English. Also, the Metroblock Foundation, a non-profit organization that supports continuing teacher development programs. Learners as the center of the curriculum. Learners have more dynamic participation from the planning, designing, implementing, and evaluating. We also have the center of the curriculum, which is the learners. Yes, the learner is the very reason why the curriculum is developed, and they are directly influenced by it. In curriculum implementation, the concluding questions will always be, has the learners learned? That's how teachers will be involved because they are the curriculum developers and implementers. Teacher. Teachers are stakeholders who plan, design, teach, implement, and evaluate the curriculum. Planning and writing the curriculum are the primary roles of the teacher. In the teaching and learning process, they are the other side of the coin who addresses the goals, needs, and the interests of the learners by creating experiences from where the student can learn. They also design and enrich and modify the curriculum to suit to the learner's characteristics. And also the teachers empowered to develop their own school curricula, taking into considerations of their own expertise, wherein the context of the schools and abilities of the learners. By doing so, the teachers become an architect of school curriculum. And we can say that the teacher is a curriculum maker. A very simple example is that in education, teachers are writing their lesson plan, session plan, training plan, and a year plan.
That's all my report. Next is the level of implementation.